Hi crocheters of the world, in this tutorial, as you saw in the title, I want to show you this project. Actually, it's a poncho with sleeves, as you can see, and actually the first part of this project is in the tutorial of the shawl, triangular shawl with the shell stitch. So I let you put the link of that video below this because that is actually the first part of this tutorial. This is the second, may I say, the second part of the tutorial. You need the triangular shawl with the shell stitch to create the first part, actually this part, until you reach the underarm, the under hand actually here, and then you will create the sleeve on one side, and actually there are two parts, the back side and the front side, and then we sew together the both parts to create the sleeves. Yes, to create the sleeves, to create the poncho. So you need just one measure, and this is with the open arms from one side to the other, and this is the measure that will let you know how to go on increasing with the triangle shawl. Okay, and when you will stop increase, that will be the measure of your poncho. You will stop increase, and in this part I will show you how to go on straight with the shell pattern. Okay, so this is actually the part of the sleeves. Okay, so in the tutorial actually I will show you on a swatch, actually the swatch that I made for the tutorial of the shawl. And why? Because it's really easy. So I have here the shawl, a kind of shawl, so a little bit a shawl for a miniature person. I don't know, maybe for Tommy actually. And from here I will begin to show you how to stop increase and to go on straight to create the sleeves, and then how to work the last actually the last row, because with the last row we will just go on and we will let actually the middle part, we will let it free for the neck line, of course. We need it. Okay, so what can I say? As yarn, I used the Drops Loves You 3, so it's a limited edition yarn. It's written here from Drops, but you can use any kind of yarn, but it must be a yarn, a thin yarn that goes with 3.5 millimeters hook. So you need something yes, thin. Okay, lace yarn, maybe it could be really nice for this project, because as you can see, it's something that must be, I don't know, soft. Okay, and this yarn that I used is like this, has parts really thin and then really thick. Okay, so it's actually like this in the yarn. It's constructed like this. I don't know the term. It must be a term for this kind of yarn, and it isn't written here, but it's okay, you understand. And that's why this yarn is worked, it's written on the label with 5 millimeters hook US 8, it's written here. So actually for me it was really easy, because you know, with a 5 millimeters hook, the work grows really fast. But if you don't find this kind, it not has to be actually this particular yarn, but this kind of yarn, you can use any kind of yarn, but to be thick, a kind of lace yarn. Okay, and yes, so you can use cotton, you can use anything you want, of course. So I think that's all that I have to say to you. Now just go on, let's go and begin with the tutorial. So the measure that you need, I just want to repeat it just to be sure. The part that you want to to know. So it's the triangle for the triangle where you stop increasing, because with the triangular shawl actually we increase in each row. We put one more V-stitch, and of course then one more shell stitch over it. So when you stop increase, it's just the part how large you want your poncho. Okay, so if you want it from the wrist, I think it's the wrist, cuff, wrist, from here to here, so you will have, of course, to go on to increase until you reach this measure with your length of width of the shawl. Actually, width of the shawl. This is the length, this is the width. Okay. So hope it's all clear, and now I just let you to the tutorial and to see how to work the sleeves. And of course how to sew together and how to actually make the put together the pieces to have your poncho ready. Okay, so let's say that we finished here our shawl, actually the triangular part, so the increasing part, and we are just right with the measure for the length of our poncho. I just show you how you have to measure your poncho. So this is really a little swatch, of course, and you have to finish. So now we have to start the straight part. Okay, so for the sleeves you have to finish the triangular part, so the increasing part of the shawl, with a shell stitch, with the shell stitch row, not with the V-stitch row, but with a shell stitch row. Okay, and now for the straight part we have 4 rows that we will repeat for the length that we need, actually the width that we need for our sleeve, half sleeve. Okay, because this is one part, we need one part exactly the same, another part exactly the same. So I said 4 rows. We actually, there are mostly the same thing, but the beginning part and the final part is a little bit different. That's why our 4 rows to repeat. Okay, now the first row, of course, will be a row of V-stitches, because we finished with a row of shell stitches. Watch first, I just highly recommend you to watch first the tutorial of the triangular shawl with the shell stitch, because if you don't, you won't understand anything of this tutorial. And I said we want to begin with a V-stitch row, and this will be work like this. So we will finish with a V-stitch, a little V-stitch. Why little? Because it's not that large that the normal V-stitch that we have in the pattern. So we will not have a chain 3 in between the V-stitch, but just a chain 1. This for the beginning and the final V-stitch. In the middle here we will work the normal V-stitches. So chain 3, and also we will not work 2 double crochets for the first and the last V-stitch as we worked for the triangular part. Okay, so chain 3 plus 1, and this is the chain 3 for the beginning double crochet, okay, for the first double crochet, and the chain 1 for the chain 1 space for the V-stitch. Okay, now turn your work, yarn over and into the same double crochet, work 1 more double crochet, and this is the little V-stitch. Actually it's a normal V-stitch with a chain 1 space in between. Now chain 3, from now on we just work the normal pattern, chain 3 and into the third double crochet of the shell of the first shell, work a single crochet, chain 3, and in between the shells work a normal V-stitch, which is into the single crochet in between the shells, work double crochet, chain 3 and double crochet. So just the first and the last V-stitch will be with a chain 1 space, not a chain 3 space. Okay, chain 3 again and skip directly into the third double crochet of the second shell of the next shell and single crochet in it. Now chain 3 again and in between the shells into the single crochet in between the shells, working normal V-stitch, which means double crochet, chain 3 space and another double crochet. Now continue on like this until the end of this row. Now I am at the end of the first row and I just want to remind you that I single crochet into the last shell, chain 3 and work the little V-stitch, so with a chain 1 space into the 1, 2, 3, third chain of the beginning chain 4, the third chain. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, and just 1 double crochet at the end of the row with the V-stitch, not 2 as we worked for the entire triangle pattern. Okay, and this is the first row of the straight for the sleeves actually. Okay, for the second we will work the shell stitch and we will work in these reduced V-stitches, the first and the last. We will work a half of a shell. Actually we have 5 double crochets and a half means we will work 3 double crochets, yes, in one into the first and 3 into the last one. Okay, so let us begin with the first one. So chain 3 and this will be our first double crochet, chain 1, the first chain 1 space, you know, we put a chain 1 space in between the double crochets of the shell. So this is the first. Now into the chain 1 space of the reduced double V-stitch, work 1 double crochet, chain 1 and another 1 double crochet and chain 1, and this is what we have. This is our half of a shell that we work here and we will work at the end. And now we will continue on with the normal pattern. So I chain 1, chained 1 and into the single crochet, work a single crochet, chain 1 and into the normal V-stitch, work a shell, entire shell. This means 1 double crochet, chain 1, second double crochet, chain 1, third double crochet, chain 1, fourth double crochet, chain 1 and fifth double crochet, chain 1 and skip directly into the single crochet and work another single crochet. And now we will just go on like this with the normal pattern. So into the V-stitch, work a shell stitch composed by 5 double crochet with a chain 1 space in between the double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 4 and 5, chain 1 in between them, don't forget. Okay, chain 1 and skip into the single crochet, work a single crochet. Go on, continue on until the end of this row. I will be back to show you how to work your last shell. So I almost finished the second row, the row with the shells. I just wanted to show you how to finish actually it. So chain 1, single crochet, chain 1 and into the little V-stitch, work into a chain 1 space, work 1 double crochet, chain 1, another 1 double crochet, chain 1 and now 1, we have the chain 3 beginning chain 3 here, so 1, 2, 3 into the third chain, work your last double crochet. Okay, and this is the second row for the straight pattern. Now the third, into the third and the fourth we will work the V-stitches and the shell stitches, into the third the V-stitches and into the fourth the shell stitches, exactly as they are. This means that we will not begin with a little V-stitch and half of shell, but we will begin in another way, and this is the way. So chain 1, oops, and turn. Into the double crochet, last double crochet worked, work a single crochet, and now we are ready to begin actually the pattern as it is for the V stitches. So chain 3, you know, always chain 3 with the V stitches, and in between the half shell and the normal shell into the single crochet work a V stitch, double crochet, chain 3, and one more double crochet into the same single crochet. Now chain 3 and into the shell stitch, third double crochet, work a single crochet, chain 3 again, and continue on like this. In between the shells into the single crochet work the V stitch. So that's all. We begin with a single crochet and then the pattern, the normal pattern actually, chain 3 and again skip directly into the third double crochet of the next shell and single crochet into it. So this is the difference, that we work a single crochet and then chain 3 and we just keep on going with the normal pattern. So I finished the entire row with the V stitches. I chained 3 for the last time and into the third chain of the beginning chain 3 of the previous row, just single crochet to finish the row. Okay, and this is the third row and the first row with V stitch with single crochet. Okay, now for the last row, and then we will repeat the same thing, actually the 4 rows. For the shell stitch row, chain 1 and single crochet. So these 2 rows begins with single crochet. Now chain 1, because we always chain 1 with the shell stitch, and work your shell stitches normally into the V stitches. Okay, so really easy. Double crochet, chain 1 into the first V stitch, double crochet, chain 1, this is the second, double crochet, chain 1, and this is the third, double crochet, chain 1, this is the fourth, double crochet, chain 1, this is the fifth. So this is our shell, and now I will skip directly into the single crochet, working 1 single crochet, and I will just go on like this. At the end of the row I will chain 1 and single crochet into the single crochet. And these are the 4 rows that we have to work for the entire length of the sleeve, actually the opening of the sleeve, okay, the half, because the other half is the other triangle, okay, the back part. So half depends on how large you want your sleeve to be. So let me finish this row, and I want to show you how to actually finish the poncho. So I finished with to complete all my shells in all my V stitches, and now I chain 1 and oops, single crochet into the single crochet just to finish. And as I said, this is what you have to, as you can see, we just go on straight. We don't increase anymore. Now, actually, for instance, for my poncho, I repeat these 4 rows 3 times. You have to stop when you decide to stop with the sleeves, half part of the sleeve, you have to finish with this single crochet shell stitch row, so the last row of the 4. Okay, so with this one you have to finish. And now I just want to show you how to put the very last row, which will be worked only on the sleeves part, and in the middle we will let it like this. Okay, so because I have here just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shells, I choose to divide them like this: 2 shells for the sleeve, 3 shells for the neckline, and 2 more shells for the other sleeve. And this is the front part, or the back part. They are identical, the same, so they are the same actually. Okay, and chain 3 we will finish with this kind of actually the V stitches become little shells. So chain 3 and into the same single crochet work 2 more double crochets. Okay, and chain 3 again. This is the last row. Into the third double crochet work your single crochet. So it's the normal pattern now. Chain 3 and into the single crochet in between work another little shell with 3 double crochets. So 1. So we substitute actually the V-stitches with 3 double crochets. That's all the change that we do here. So chain 3 double crochets into the single crochet, and this is my last shell of the sleeve, so I will chain 3, insert the hook into the third double crochet, single crochet, chain 1 and cut the yarn. Of course you will have more than 2 shells for the sleeve. I actually had 8 for mine and 4 in the middle and 8 for the other sleeve. But this is just a swatch to show you how it looks. The project is too large to work it in front of the camera. Okay, so this is the sleeve. Now we will just count the part that we decided to let for the neckline. 1, 2, 3. So 3 shells. So into the next shell, of course the sleeve must have the same number of shells. This is obvious. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 into the next third double crochet in here of the shell. We just attaching the yarn, chain 1 and single crochet, and work the same thing that we worked first. Chain 3 and into the single crochet work 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 3 and into the third double crochet of the shell work a single crochet, chain 3 and into the single crochet work 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. Chain 1 and cut the yarn. And that's it. So you need 2 equally parts. 2 of these. I have 2 of these. And now all that we want to do, all that we want to do is to sew. So as you can see, I have the sleeves. This is my straight part for the sleeves. Of course, it's just very short, because I repeat, it's a swatch, but it's the same thing that you have to do for yourself. So in any kind of size you want to. Actually, I am thinking of making one for my sister as a Christmas gift, because it's really easy to work and it's so nice. I like this project. It is not my idea. I found it somewhere on the web, and I thought, wow, this is just beautiful. So, and easy. I like the projects that are nice and easy to make. So let's see what we have to do now. We have to put them with the right face, facing the right face, and the wrong face facing us, because we will sew it, and we want to sew it on the wrong side, of course. And we will sew it here, this part, okay? Then of course we want to sew these 2 ends. It's easy. Take your needle, wool needle if you have, and sew the parts together. Let us begin here on this part. So we let the neckline, where we didn't work the 3 double crochets last row, and beginning to the last single crochet worked and last single crochet worked here. Last, first, I don't know. Okay, like this. You don't need to make a knot because you just want to insert the hook into the yarn if you can. Okay, and now into the yarn here, and this will be our, and now like this. Okay, and this will be our, and now just be attentive to sew the parts well. Okay, and we sew them together here. Now we have the 3 double crochets, so we sew the 3 double crochets like this. Okay, and now the chain 3 on the first chain. As you can see, I am insert the needle from the, how can I say, right side to the left side, I don't know, front side to back side actually. Okay, always like this. Okay, and now the next group of 3 double crochets, 1 and 2, take 1 loop on 1 stitch. This is the last. No, this was the, sorry, the single crochet, and now the chain stitch, sorry, and you can see, and double crochets, now the last group of double crochets, and here we are. Okay, now I have here the tail too, but it's okay. A little knot, and that's it. Now I can cut the yarn, and this is what I have. I joined on the upper part, one part, and now I have to do the same thing on the other part. Okay, so here, let me just join this, and then here under the arm just a little bit. So actually I have a total of, let me count, 13 plus 7, I have a total of 20 triangular, on the triangular part of 20 rows, and I just sew 7 of them. Okay, yes, 7 of them, so not much. You will see, you will just put it on yourself, and you'll see how many. So I sew just one part here, just to show you here that I have my sleeve and the part of the poncho and the part of the sleeve. Okay, now on the back side again, and I decided to sew 2 shells. I have 7 shells here, and I decided to join in 2 shells. When I said that I worked 20 rows for the triangle, I was meaning rows of shells, because I always count the shells, not the V-stitches. So 20 plus 20, actually I worked 40 rows, okay? Increasing rows for the triangle. Actually, if I think of rows of the pattern, completed pattern, so the V-stitch and the shell stitch, V-stitch and the shell stitch. So there are, I worked for my poncho 40. Okay, now I have 7 plus 7 actually is they are 14. And the last thing that I want to show you is how to sew. There is a little trick here, how to sew under the sleeve. So actually to create the sleeve, how can I say? Okay, now I have here a little bit of yarn, and yes, here we are. No, here is the part that I sewn. So here I have the sleeve, and I want to be very, very attentive where I began the rounds of where I stop increasing. Okay, so this is my shell, my last shell. You know, we always finish with a shell stitch row, the increasing part, I told you that, and this is my last here. Okay, this is my last here, this is my last on this part. Very, very important. Okay, now it's here that I will begin to go down, and the same thing here to fix the yarn. And now, as I said, for 2 shells I just want to go down just to show you the pattern, all the pattern. It's really easy. You have just to put 4 sewing lines and you are ready. So it's not a big deal. You can join them with the slip stitch too, but I don't recommend you. It will be too, how can I say, thick. Okay, now I'm ready. Can you see? I just want to make a knot. And yes, this is actually the perfect poncho for Tommy. Okay, now let me just show you. Okay, that's it. You can make it for a girl too. It's really easy and nice. Maybe changing colors at each shell row. Okay, so that's it. We have the sleeves, we have the poncho part, and we have the neckline, and that's it. Yes, so hope you enjoy this project. It's really, really easy and nice, and I'm sure that if you decide to give it a try, you will be really, really satisfied about it. Bye bye, see you at the next tutorial.